In one of the deadliest Russian attacks on western Ukraine since the war began, at least 25 people have been killed and dozens wounded by a heavy Russian bombardment that struck two tower blocks in the western city of Ternopil. Images show the top floors of the residential buildings completely destroyed. President Zelensky said people may still be trapped under the rubble. He said that among the 64 who are known to have been wounded, 14 were children. Two other western regions, Lviv and Ivano-Frankivsk, were hit, and a drone attack targeted 3 districts in the northern city of Kharkiv, wounding more than 30 people. Photos posted online showed buildings and cars ablaze. Power stations were among the targets, and several are said to have been hit, with power cuts affecting a number of regions across Ukraine. The Russian strikes came a day after Ukraine's military said it had fired US-supplied long-range ATACMS missiles at military targets inside Russia, the first time they've admitted using them on Russian soil. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now on the line from London by the author and international affairs analyst, Dr. Marek Laskiewicz. Dr. Laskiewicz, thank you very much indeed for joining us. So 470 one-way attack drones fired from Russia, as well as 48 cruise missiles. That's a huge air attack on western Ukraine, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It carries with it 3 messages. First and foremost, it shows that Russia still has the capacity in terms of equipment to launch very large strikes. Secondly, they show they can hit the very extremities of Ukraine, as of course they have done before, but this rubs it in. And thirdly, it's very close to Poland. And in fact, there are still Poles living there in western Ukraine. And this is quite deliberate because they're showing Poland that they will be certainly take any further steps necessary. They have, after all, acted near Poland and inside Poland before, and this coming so close to the Polish frontier is a signal to Poland.
That's a very interesting point, and I'm going to come to Poland in a minute. But the focus of this attack was essentially across Ukraine, wasn't it? From Kharkiv in the north to Lviv, Ivano-Frankivsk and Ternopil in the west. And I understand this is the region where Ukraine has its military and energy infrastructure, at least a lot of it, and that has been a particular focus of Russia in recent months as temperatures plunge.
The view is they can knock out all the electricity. The Ukrainians' morale will plummet so far that they will sue for peace. I have to say, in all honesty, this tactic appears extremely unlikely to succeed. Britain, so to speak, bombed Germany flat, and Germany fought to the last. So therefore, it just does not work. Moreover, mere cold. Well, people in Ukraine have lived in the cold for centuries. So therefore, it's unlikely to be that impossible for them to cope. More interestingly, it is, of course, a way of simply demonstrating to the West that Russia continues to act as it sees fit. But per se, however bad these attacks are, and this, as you've pointed out quite correctly, is one of the worst, it is unlikely, in fact, to break Ukraine.
Let me return to the point you mentioned earlier about Poland, because we understand that both Poland and Romania had to scramble NATO fighter jets earlier today, with a drone reported to have breached Romanian airspace. I wonder if you can tell us about that, because we know that after a number of incidents earlier this year when decoy drones went across into Poland, recently NATO has stepped up its air policing and patrolling operations.
Yes, quite right. The NATO has been shown to be more prepared, and certainly Poland and Romania are more prepared for drone attacks. These incidental drone attacks are actually in some ways nothing more than probing. They just see if the Polish and Romanian fighters will be scrambled, how quickly they will be scrambled. And they're not serious in terms of being an attack. Likewise, the attack near the frontier, as this one was, the massive attack on Ukraine, also is simply a way of, if you like, seeing what Poland will say, what Poland will do. And therefore, these are simply, on the whole, probing. The implication, though, is that Russia has not forgotten that it may well be expanding the war outwards, in which case Poland would be the target. And this sort of business forcing Poland and Romania to scramble their fighters does reinforce this point.
And just returning to Ukraine, Dr. Laskiewicz, President Zelensky is in Turkey, or was, for talks amid reports of a secret peace plan being worked on by Donald Trump's administration along with Russia. I mean, what more can we expect to come out of these talks in Turkey? Because correspondents say it is clearly the US leading those talks, and some suggestion that Steve Witkoff is or is expected to be in Turkey. I mean, what do you make of all that?
Well, the USA has not forgotten its strategy to try and bring peace to the area. And in the same way as there are mediators in the Israeli-Gazan dispute, Qatar, Egypt, so here Turkey has the potential, because Turkey is, if you like, trusted by both sides. And the implication here is that they can informally set up such conditions to which Russia has informally agreed, which would make subsequent formal peace talks possible. That's how I read the situation. And therefore, this is not to be expected to be fireworks immediately, but it is encouraging to think that there's some sort of secret talks going on.
That you're reading it is good enough for us. Dr. Marek Laskiewicz, thank you very much indeed. He is the author and international affairs analyst, and he was talking to me on the line from London.